everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is when he can't keep a job. What do you do when you're with a man who can't keep a job? Before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, those of you who are interested in these caps, they are available in my online store, and you'll find a link in the description. All right, we have a letter, and let's dive right into this letter and see what she says. Okay, here we go. Here's a young lady who's talking about her brother. My brother is 33 years old, and since 18, he left my parents' home and moved in with my grandma. Up until age 30, he lived there rent-free, never contributing, working job after job, but always giving every excuse under the sun of why he was either fired or walked off the job because somebody did something to him. Everyone in the family has encouraged and tried to help or aid him to keep a job and live on his own, but nothing works. Eventually, he got a girlfriend in another state and left to move in with her. After less than a year, she kicked him out. Yeah, because he's not self-sufficient. You know, he's looking for somebody to carry him, to support him. You understand? I don't know if your brother has any kind of issues, why he can't make a living for himself or not. But let's read on in the letter and see. All right, after she kicked him out, he got his own place, but called my parents every month, being short on rent. Eventually, his car broke down. He lost his job and got evicted. My parents flew him back home, and he immediately started fighting with them and blaming them for all his problems. Now he is back living with my grandmother, still not contributing to the point he won't even help drive her places or take in groceries because he is that entitled. Well, I don't know if it's entitlement or if he is just being this way. And I'm not going to do anything. You know, sometimes people get really rebellious in their lives and they just decide, I'm not going to do anything. You know, I'm just going to be an issue. Only because that's what they feel inside. They're so uneasy and so unhappy inside. They cannot be happy. They cannot bring happiness. There's no happiness inside. And maybe this is what's going on with your brother. Everyone wants to cut him off, but no one wants to see him homeless or hurt on the streets. I am 35 and unmarried, but I can't let him move in with me and run all over me in my life. But I feel bad for my grandma and my parents. How can I help the situation, or what angle should I take to stabilize it? My grandma won't be around forever, and my brother can't see his faults at all, no matter how I try to explain them to him. He has crossed everyone in the family, but we still don't want to see him thrown out in the streets. I can understand this. I can understand it. Of course you don't want to see him thrown out in the streets. But, right now, he's a burden to the family. He is a burden. Now, I assume that your parents couldn't afford to keep him in his apartment and just pay rent so he can just stay over there, you know. if he was doing okay in his apartment and he just couldn't pay rent, you know, maybe you want to help him out that way. If he was doing better, I really don't know. Let me look back at your letter and say that, oh, his car broke down. And that's how he lost his job. Okay. All right. Your brother, he's in his 30s. He's in his 30s. Okay. And he has not matured yet. This is called maturity. If he doesn't have a mental issue, a mental disability, then he should be capable of making a life on his own. And he wouldn't have to go in the street. Maybe that's something that he's threatening you guys with. Maybe if you took your hands off of him and let him go on with his life, then he will figure it out himself. If he doesn't have any other problems, or if he hasn't been a problem in his life, for instance, if he hasn't been to juvenile, if he has no record with the police, and if he doesn't have any mental disabilities, there's no reason why he can't make it on his own. Or if he doesn't want to make it on his own, contribute wherever he is. For some reason, he's not being held accountable for his actions. And therefore, he doesn't feel like he needs to be responsible, knowing that you all will be the catch-all for whatever to keep him off the street. You see? Talk to your brother again. As a family, maybe you all would do an intervention. Now, I don't know how this will work. He might just get mad and storm off. But this way, at least you'll give him a chance. Have this family intervention that if you're going to stay here, you need to have a job and you need to pay so-and-so, so-and-so. Okay? And you have, I'll give you a month to find something where you can contribute something to the house. Okay? He needs to know he has to work. He has to make money to contribute, to live, to survive. Nobody is going to take care of him forever. He needs to know that. And in this intervention, this family intervention, sit and talk to him about it. But make it pleasant. Make it as pleasant as possible. And it doesn't look like it's something organized. It just happens. Maybe you all have an occasion where you're there together. And all of a sudden you just get to talking about it. You see? This way he won't feel threatened. I've been in some interventions before. It wasn't for me. It was for someone else. And the way we did it, we got organized and we all came together. And we were all sitting at the table when the person came. Well, the person was threatened by that. And it didn't turn out well. This is why I'm saying to try to make it a comfortable kind of coincidental meeting. And then you get to talking about it. Talking about his well-being. And what is his plans in the future. What is it that he really wants to do in life? It sounds like, to me, he's a young man in his 30s, maybe he doesn't have a good footing on what he wants to do in life. You see, when people are pushed just to go out and get a job, it's not motivating. But if you can make money out of doing what you really enjoy doing anyway, then you stick with it because it's something that you enjoy, but you'll get paid for it. What are his skills? What is it that he really likes to do? Maybe he should be working for himself and not for other people. You see, it's all kind of avenues. But for you all to make him feel like you got to just run out and get a job, maybe he's the type of person that doesn't work well with a supervisor. Maybe he just needs to work on his own or work at home. I don't know what his skills are, but it's a lot of jobs that you can do at home. You can even stuff packages, or whatever. You don't need a car for every gig job out here. So there are solutions for your brother, but your brother has to want something for himself. You know, I'm thinking that your brother probably has some other issues that need to be addressed. And that's why he is behaving the way he's behaving, because of these other issues that have nothing to do with him getting a job or moving out or whatever. He's just trying to find himself and find his happy place. Okay? So, as a loving family, my advice to you is to, as a family, I think that you all should approach this, so that everybody have a clear understanding that you want to help him. But guide him toward not just getting a job. Oh, you need to go out, get yourself a job. You're going to get kicked out. We can't afford to. Don't do that. That's what a lot of people do, and that's a turnoff. That doesn't help anybody. Steer him in the direction of where his interest is. What are his real interests? Everybody has something that they enjoy doing. And believe it or not, you can make a living at whatever you enjoy doing. It's a mindset that you got to go out here and work for somebody else. That's a mindset that we all have been groomed in. When we went to school, we were groomed to work for somebody else. But everybody is not fit for that. Some people are better working on their own. And maybe, I'm just suggesting, maybe this is your brother. All right? So, as a loving family, I believe that you all can help to steer him in the right direction, but try to get to the bottom of the issue. And the bottom of the issue is something's going on with him, inside of him. He is not content, and he is not happy inside. Okay, if you can get to the root of that issue, then everything else will fall into place. Okay, and I really hope that helps you. Okay, I realize at the top of your letter you entitled this Narcissistic Brother. But in your letter, you really didn't indicate anything that made me think that he's a narcissist. Okay, so I treated it just like he's not a narcissist. He's just a regular person. He's just in his 30s. There's a lot of 30-year-olds who haven't found their niche yet. So he's still got a lot of growing to do. I wouldn't just throw him out. He's with your grandmother now. But try to get to the root of his issue. There's some reason why he's off at your grandmother's anyway. You see? If you can get to the root of that issue, then I believe that his life will flourish. Now, we do have another letter. So let's get to this other letter and see what she says here. All right, she entitles her letter Healing. How will I know when I am completely healed from narcissistic abuse? When you stop crying. When you stop being sad. When you stop being angry, when you think about it. When you can talk about it freely and understand and see the lesson in it. That's when you know you are healed. You see, I went through narcissistic abuse, and for a long time, I couldn't listen to certain music, or I would get, teary-eyed, thinking about what passed. I would, whenever I thought about what happened, it made me angry sometimes, mad, sad, agitated, anxious. I wasn't healed yet. But as I healed, the crying stopped. And the clarity of what happened became apparent. You see? Until I can straight up talk about it, think about it, and it does not affect me one way or the other. It is just something that happened in my life, and I learned the lesson from it. This way I can move forward. My life is in a high frequency. So for you, when you get to the point that you can talk to these people who abused you, if they're still there, and it doesn't bother you, it doesn't make you want to hurt them, it doesn't make you want to have revenge on them. When you think about it, you don't get angry about what happened. You realize it happened, and you've forgiven it, and you let it go with your life. Because you are in a different frequency when you heal. You are out of the lower frequencies, and you're at the frequency of love. You see? Unconditional love. And this is where your life can get better and better and better. So continue on your journey. But as long as you are having a negative reaction when you think about what you went through, you haven't healed yet. Okay? All right? So stay on that spiritual journey. Continues to strengthen your connection with divine source energy, because that's where your healing is coming from. Okay? It took me 2.5 years to totally heal. 2.5 years. And I mean working on myself every day. Every day. You know, during your healing process, there's a thing called the dark night of the soul. And during that time, it's like dark days afternoon for you. And you go through it for a while because it goes way back and brings up all of those childhood wounds that you thought that you were over with. You see? You thought you had forgotten about it, but it's sitting back here in your subconscious. But then your healing, your true spiritual healing, it will dig down all of those old childhood wounds and heal them. You see? And this way, now you're free and you're happy and you're able to manifest what you desire in your life when you're on this higher frequency. Okay? So stay on your spiritual path. And if you are asking, when do you know if you're completely healed? You still have some more healing to do. Okay? When you can think about it and see the lesson that you learned in it, you heal. All right. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.